hope it was nice. I hope you got your favorites. Maybe got in a nap. Um, Yesterday was just spectacular. It was great to eat and great to be on Zoom with the family and all those wonderful things. But what really stood out was the Washington football team. The Washington football team had its biggest win in 25 years. National television against their arch rivals on Thanksgiving. And it was a kind of win that you can't plan for. It was the kind of win that you dream about in your wildest dreams, but never would have imagined it would be that way. It's the kind of win that changes the trajectory of a organization, changes the direction of a season. It's just amazing. And one of the things that has really stood out has been how the coach, this guy named Ron Rivera, has attempted to integrate every aspect of his life and his team, or his life and his history, into the team and the team's life and the team's history. And everything that he talks about is this notion that it's all kind of, it all builds, right? Everything plays a role in the building. Even, you build part of a wall, it cracks, breaks. That's a build. That's actually a building process. That's actually of value, right? This crack here in this wall, the value is not or the value is that, oh, we noticed the crack and here's how we're going to try to fix it. And so that has value. The leak here, right? That has value because, once we go in and we kind of see where that leak's coming from, the more we learn about this leak, the more value we get from it. This loss, this terrible loss, it has value because of X, Y, and Z. So it's he has had to embody the attitude of, this can be useful. We can use this. We can do this. This is okay. We can keep pushing here. This isn't the end of us. We can keep moving. We can keep moving. So he's really embodied that. I mean, he actually got cancer early in the season and coached through the early part of the season while getting cancer treatment. And there were scenes of him on the sideline, just gassed, just totally wiped out because of the cancer treatment. But he didn't want to leave the team by themselves, so he would coach seated on the bench. He never let on that it was bothering him. Very stoic, military. He's a military guy, but you could just tell he was struggling. And all these challenges he framed as, okay, we can use this, we can make this work, this can become this. So every challenge that showed up had value, and the attitude that he maintained was the attitude the rest of the team maintained and the rest of the coaches maintained. And then when that all clicks, because it has to click. I mean, sometimes you get like a click here, sometimes you get a click here, but sometimes you get all the clicks, right? Everything just falls into place. And that happened yesterday. It was glorious. It was absolutely glorious. The last awesome game that I've ever seen, the most dominant game I've ever seen, was actually in FedEx Field with my two best friends from childhood and with my dad. And it was when the Redskins, at the time they were called the Redskins, beat the Cowboys 36-10. And it was the most glorious thing ever until yesterday. Yesterday would have been something else if it was live and everything. So that will always hold a special spot. But yesterday was just astonishing. So why am I talking about the football team? Well, the stanza today reads like this. I changed one word just to make it a little bit less kind of religious. But it says, if you comprehend the art of peace, this difficult path, just as it is, envelops the circle of heaven. And so I changed, I said, envelops the circle of life. So this notion that this notion that the ideal place to be, or that you can get to this place, is the winning, right? Is everything's going great, everything's smooth. Um, that's a gift, right? That's not something you can plan for. It's something that you have to cultivate, and you just have to keep cultivating. You can't plan to have that stuff happen. It's not like, all right, we'll do X, Y, and Z and this will happen. No, it does not. It doesn't work that way. You have to create an attitude and a participation with every aspect of life in order to cultivate a spirit. I mean, that's really the only thing you can describe it as. You can't describe it as something that you can actually grab onto, or that's tangible, or that you can point to. It's something that that happens when all the pieces are accepted, and all the parts of the path are seen as valuable. And once that hits, it's like there's fertile ground for amazing and wondrous. And when it happens, you have I guess the last thing I'll say about this is that when it happens, the only thing left to do is offer gratitude. There's no credit that you need to take. There's no, I got this figured out, I caused that. No, there's simply gratitude. And to have that happen yesterday on Thanksgiving was just, amazing. But as it relates to you, everything that takes place in your life is part of this circle, the circle of life. He calls it the circle of heaven, because he's trying to integrate this spiritual hierarchy, heaven being the highest spiritual level, but the circle of heaven, meaning it includes earth. So like what he's saying with heaven and earth is, he's saying heaven is the spiritual ideal, earth is kind of the norm, right? Earth is like earthly suffering, earthly human existence that has to include suffering, and it's temporary. Heaven is the highest spiritual experience, which is an infinite, but it's a circle, right? So that's what he's saying. And he's saying, if you understand the art of peace, everything on that path fits. It's all part of it. And so I just would say that, all of us have these challenges. I've got a friend who's having challenges trying to do goodwill. She's having challenges. He's having challenges trying to do goodwill, and that's part of it, right? I have another friend who's having challenges with their physical body, so they've got surgery coming up. I've got another friend who's got challenges emotionally with their spouse, and they've got all kinds of stuff going on. And so you look at this stuff and you could say, oh, this is just a sign that everything's broken, or blah, blah, blah. Or you can understand the art of peace and see that it's all part of this path that fits. It fits into the circle of life. And that's hard to interact with intellectually. But once you're in it, right? And we're all in it. We're all going to be in it. If we're not in it now, we're just going to be in it later. Is you can influence your attitude in there. And that's what we talk about with emptiness. If you can be empty inside some of this turmoil, the path forward will show up. It always does. It always does. And that's the essence of the art of peace. If you understand that, now it takes experiencing that the path is there over and over and over again inside of difficult times to kind of believe in it. But once you believe in it, then it's like, oh, it's always there. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what, does not matter, there's that path. And you just got to find it. And part of finding it is believing in it. And part of believing in it is continuing to just, fold it in, fold it in, fold it in. We can make this. Here's that crack. Okay, here's how we can work on it. Here's that leak. Here's how we can work. So just get that attitude going, get that kind of that sense of focus going. I know I said lasted like 20 seconds ago, but I was talking to my daughter Allegra last night, and she was kind of inside of this narrative in her head, and she was just kind of focused on a particular part of her experience that was very much a story. And I said, okay, now that's okay. Having that story is fine, but let's not focus on the story, because the story can take place anywhere in your head. And let's just focus on the present moment. And I have this technique. It's Shinjin Zitsu, which is a technique of energy work that you can do with your fingers. So the thumb is for worry. So whenever Allegra's worried, I tell her to hold her thumb. F, works fast, works fast. Okay, F, okay, F is fear. Okay, the middle one, obviously, anger. This is sadness, and this is self-esteem. So what you do is you hold it. You hold it for about 90 seconds. Now, what happens when you hold it is you'll feel the blood start to pulse. And because you can feel it, because it's embodied, and because there is a relationship to these energy channels in your body, I won't go into that. But you just shift. You shift from an analysis of what's going on into just the presence of what's going on. And inside the presence of what's going on, you can settle into what's going on, as opposed to trying to stop it or shift it. So anyway, let's get to the training, because again, it's all based on how you pay attention to this stuff. If you understand the art of peace, it's all included. If you don't understand, then everything that happens to you is just like, why is this happening to me? Or what's, well, I mean, there's no place for it. There's just this resistance. But if you understand the art of peace, it all fits in. And the only way to understand the art of peace is to be present, right? That's where the emptiness comes in. The emptiness is, I'm in it. I'm not analyzing it. Here's what I can do about it. And you can do that every single time. And so that's the practice. That's what we're doing when we practice 1, 2, 3, 4 bells. Okay. So let's practice. I'm gonna make it short, because it's Friday, and I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a celebration time to go and drink coffee and read about the Washington football team's dominant win yesterday. So this isn't going to be a long one. All right, so just go ahead, close your eyes right off the bat. What do you hear? Where do you hear it? Study any areas of silence. Let's move to the body. Notice what's beneath you, your ground. Notice how you're connected to the ground, where you're connected to the ground. Come up into the pelvis. It's always worth shifting a little bit just to get some feedback from the pelvis. Then move up into the core. Release the core muscles. So the muscles that go up and down, the muscles that go side to side. Release those muscles. Let them go. Now, once you get up from the core region to the heart space region, imagine your ribs kind of lifting those released muscles taut. So as your ribs lift, not the front of your ribs or the back of your ribs, but as your ribs lift, there's a tautness there. A release and a lift at the same time. Once you've released it and lifted into your heart space, relax your shoulder blades. Come up to the throat. Check in with the jaw. Subtlety at the throat. Top of the head. Top of the spine. Soften the face. First, just notice this. See if you can smile at your eyes. Smile at your cheeks. And smile at your mouth. Hold that for a breath or two. So move into third bell. Let's do 5 max in and outs. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. Was there anything yesterday that stood out for you that maybe you didn't say? Any gratitude that you didn't share? Maybe you were all able to offer all the gratitude that kind of came to mind, but maybe take a moment today to just kind of recap what you were grateful for yesterday and kind of bring it back, because today what I really want to do is focus on compassion towards others. So we cultivated all this gratitude for ourselves. Maybe reconnect all that gratitude from yesterday and then send it out. Send it out to maybe just a couple people. Maybe just think about a couple people that are kind of in the thick of it. And in your mind, just picture an invisible string. Literally, an invisible string, right? To picture an invisible string is to picture an invisible string. How do you picture an invisible string? It's invisible, right? So this is your imagination here. So just imagine this invisible string, moving from the gratitude that you hold in your heart from yesterday out and to the people, maybe 3 people. I have my 3 people that you think could use some of your goodwill. Just imagine that string just shooting out the speed of light across the country, finding those people and connecting right to their heart. And you're just giving them your goodwill as much as they need. Just do that for just a moment. And from there, be intentional about the finish. Take a breath in, take a breath out, take a breath in, and on your second exhale, you're done. This morning before I went on the walk, I was reliving Coach Rivera's post-game interview. And during the interview, all he said was, I just got to give so much credit to the coaches. I just got to give so much credit to the players. I got to give credit to the coaches and the players. I got to give credit to the staff. He didn't give credit. He didn't take any credit, not a bit of it. He just gave it away. And as I thought about it this morning and thinking about it now, it just makes me want to cry. Like, it's just like, that is the gift. The gift isn't ourselves. The gift is what happens through us. So don't get stuck with me. It's what happens through you that creates the things that you never imagined. And so, like, anyway, I'm about to go on a tangent again, so I'll leave it at that. But have a great weekend. I hope you're still on vacation a little bit. Maybe you get Friday off too. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. We're in 100, so we only got 14 stanzas left. So we got 2 weeks and 4 days. 100. And some of you have been with me going through the Art of Peace this year every day. So thank you for that. It's really cool. I'll say it every time. There's nothing like doing this knowing that you're watching. Knowing that you're watching makes this so worth it and so valuable and so worthy and so meaningful. I just can't thank you enough. So thank you for watching. A happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on Monday.